this leads to his second act, which is essentially him.
More of what he's known for.
More of what he's known for is where he starts. Is where he eventually finds. He runs for office, and he wants to like go down that route, but then his showman life keeps calling him back, keeps pulling him back.
That's right.
And he can't deny it, and he pursues it, and then he ends up taking that to another level. Do you want to park it here? Do you want to give a little bit of a
I think we can go a little bit into some of these like greatest shows on earth.
Okay.
Because I think there was other things in here that kind of come back from his childhood in terms of just like things that he was allowing to happen at some of these shows.
Mm-hmm.
Something else to note here is, and most people know, right, this is the circus we're talking about.
Yeah.
America at this point in the late 1800s, almost 100 years after America was even started, very isolated, very not very cultured in terms of worldviews and stuff like that. And so when we're talking about these kinds of shows, this was all the excitement people had. This was like the entertainment. Think about...
Well, let's go even further this time. There was a Civil War time.
Yeah, right.
1860 at this time, and so it's very fractured in what you're talking about.
Yes.
And, it's not very, melting pot like we know it today, where people all just come together despite all of our views and everything. People were trying to literally say, hey, we want to break from like America.
The Union,
Yes. So
I will say, and then there's a whole side story to the whole Civil War too, where there's like people's perception of what that was supposed to be was completely altered in the first couple of years of the war. Some of the nobles would come out to some of the battles and bring their picnic baskets to watch the war happen. Obviously that didn't work very well when bullets start flying your way. But
we're going to watch the war.
Bring us some sandwiches.
Yes, please make sure that we have more than enough to eat. Yes.
And so there's like a lot of things here where I feel like it does play into this whole like suspend your disbelief, come see these things that are unbelievable. Yes. Escapism is a good word for that.
So his second act, and he has another 30 years where he runs this up, he's back at the museum. He's in full control of the museum. 1860s is like the peak commercial time of the museum. A lot of people want to escape around this time, and he says, you know what, I'm trying to take my next step in my journey, and I want to build my legacy that's going to last. And so he runs for office. He runs for mayor. Well, the Connecticut General Assembly, wins, and then at this point he gives a speech, and he's been giving a lot of speeches around this time too. A lot on like temperance and different items, but he also says, I'm going to run for mayor, and he wins. And so and there's some pretty big things here, like now this is when he votes for the 13th Amendment around the time, and he's going on this different track in his life, but then he has two big fires that happen at his museums around here. And these museums, I mean, just devastating. To lose all of these curiosities and acts and exhibits. It was 600,000 exhibits that were lost. Many animals were dead because of this. A beluga whale boiled to death in its tank. There was a total loss of about $400,000 in 1860 dollars. Comes out to about $8 million today. The shrines didn't cover much of that. Within 2 months, Barnum opens Barnum's New American Museum in the Chinese Assembly Rooms in Broadway. March 3rd, 1868, the Second American Museum also burns to the ground. It had a faulty furnace. At 58 years old, Barnum had lost 2 consecutive multi-million-dollar businesses to fire within 3 years. And he says, okay, I can't do this anymore. I am going to move into a traveling show.
Let's take it on the road. Can't burn down if I'm keep moving.
Exactly. And, I mean, this guy with fires, it just wasn't his thing.
No.
No,
it was wild.
From Arenistan.
That kind of unluckiness.
But also, it's like, hey, if you don't believe in karma,
there's that. There's the famous take my bad times and Turn them into good times.
Make lemonade out of lemons.
That's right.
Yeah. So the circus is basically what this was the groundworks for.
Yeah, the modern day circus.
Yeah, T.Barnum is called the Grand Traveling Museum, Menagerie, Caravan.
Menagerie.
Is that how you say it? Menagerie. Menagerie. Caravan and Hippodrome.
The Hippodrome, which is the modern day. It's the famous. Oh my gosh, why am I blanking on the Madison Square Garden?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Yes, that's huge, and he would sell that place out. But yeah, kind of going a little bit into this like circus stuff. He had a lot of different attractions, and there's also some things that he used to do with, and there's always that saying of never trust a Carnie.
Yeah.
Where he would invite pickpockets to be among the crowd, and he would say, hey, like, I don't care if you pickpocket my customers as long as you cut me in. So stuff like that comes back up, right? There's this whole story around like the ticket sellers would essentially scalp tickets, and that's how they would make their money. Some ticket sellers would even pay for the privilege to sell his tickets, and then they would make money based on the difference they were able to charge customers.
This guy's like he's like a legitimate con man.
A lot of these things I feel like today would be seen as con men. Yeah. And it's the whole walking down New York City, the lady under the cup, or the where's the queen? Where everybody else is in on the trick except for you because you're the mark. And so these kinds of things are happening, and he does this in town after town after town, where you don't really have a lot of recourse. If you figure out, $5 is missing from my wallet, the circus is gone.
Yeah, we bounced. Peace. Yeah.
So yeah, there's a lot of stuff there. We eventually get into him partying with John Bailey and being the Barnum and Bailey show.
That was huge. That was big because Bailey was 33 at the time.
Yep.
Barnum was 70 at the time, and they partnered up and they created the Barnum and Bailey.
Yeah, and then obviously you get into the other elephant that he bought, the African elephant Jumbo. Bought that from a London zoo.
Yeah.
A lot of people weren't too happy about it.
No, not at all.
But Jumbo was big.
A big boy.
And the only great way that he was able to play nice with his caretakers was when he got drunk. So they used to feed him a lot of alcohol. Giant elephant, they used to feed a lot of alcohol.
Mr. Jumbo.
There was a lot of accents too, like taking this from town to town. I think something to note here is he utilized trains. One of the first persons to do entertainment via the railway system, but that wasn't without its unfortunate mishaps where he had a couple trains derail. One of them, I believe, did kill Jumbo.
And people weren't happy about that. The Queen spoke out about the Jumbo situation. The Queen Victoria.
The Victorian times. But
the Jumbo created this merchandising empire, and the kids loved Jumbo.
It added a word to the dictionary.
Yeah.
Like now we think Jumbo shrimp.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Wow. And then also like Dumbo. Dumbo was that?
I have no idea.
Yeah.
But I do know that like Jumbo was not a word in the dictionary until P.T. Barnum.
Yeah. And so that's basically that was his last and his final show. But he did before he died, he said he wanted to read his own obituary. So he had his
publish it early, please.
Yeah. And he did, and then he died 2 weeks later.
Yeah.